I killed and ate a man after seeing an ad on the internet looking for someone who was willing to be eaten alive. My name is Armin Maiwes. I was born in Germany in 1961 and have been developing cannibalistic fantasies since childhood. This led to a terrible act in 2000. At that time, I published an advert on the internet looking for volunteers who were willing to be killed and eaten. A man named Baron Brandis replied and came a month after mutual agreement. I killed him and began devouring his flesh. We filmed part of the crime. I ate his flesh for several months. In 2002, the police discovered my actions after an investigation and I was arrested for my crime. I was sentenced to 8.5 years in prison for the murder of a man. In 2004, my case was reopened and my sentence increased. I was convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Since then I've been in prison and my story has gained worldwide notoriety. I belated my victims, made hamburgers out of their flesh and sold them on the side of the road. My name is Joseph Roy Metheny. Welcome to my cruel world. I was born on March 2, 1955 in Baltimore, USA, and had 5 siblings. My father was an alcoholic and died in a car accident. My mother worked very hard and often had to work double shifts. I became addicted to drugs when I was 18 and kept staying with drug-addicted homeless people. When my then-wife became addicted to crack in 1994, she left me with our common son for another man. For days, I searched for her in vain. Then out of anger and rage, I murdered 2 innocent homeless people with an axe. Near the place where I committed the murders, I noticed 2 other women, but they could not give me any information about my wife either. I raped both of them, strangled them with an extension cord and buried their bodies. While I was doing this, I saw an old fisherman at the river staring in my direction. I beat him until he was dead. That night, I murdered 5 people in about 7 hours. 2 years later, in November 1996, I met Kimberly Lynn Spencer, whom I stabbed with a knife, because she wouldn't sleep with me. I cut the body into pieces and threw it into the meat grinder. That same week, I organized a food truck and I sold burgers. I mixed pork and beef with human flesh. No one noticed a difference in taste. In fact, many said that these were the best burgers they had ever eaten. Everything was going well until I ran out of the special meat. A month later, on December 8th, I found my new victim, Rita Kemper, we consumed for a while in my trailer. When I tried to undress the woman, she resisted and screamed desperately. She escaped out the window and notified the police. I started to pack my things. I knew the police would come to get me. When I went out, it was already too late. When I was arrested in 2016, I confessed to my crimes. In total, I killed 13 people. However, of these, evidence was found to convict me of only 2 murders. I have no excuse for what I did, except that I did it willingly. You will never hear the words "I'm sorry" from me, because that would be a lie. I was found dead in my prison cell on August 4, 2017 at the age of 62.
I begged my victims, flattened them with a rolling pin and drowned them in brownie batter. I am Thomas Linwood, known as the Muffin Man, and I am regarded as the first documented serial killer. I was born in Yorkshire, England. My father was a local baker at the Utility Muffin Research Kitchen. He was a respectable man, but at home he was a cruel master. I can still remember the day when his iron spatula, his trusted tool to create pastries, became the tool he used to torment the son who trusts him with his life. He didn't stop there. When he was done hitting me, he abused me sexually. He got a pastry bag covering my face with it, and even though I tried my best to fight for a breath of fresh air, all I could inhale was particles of flour and my tears. Like a dough of pastry, he kneaded several parts of my body, added butter, and inserted muffins, a specialty to any part of me where it fits. After he was done, he always gave me one of his muffins to keep me from crying. Growing up from an abusive childhood, all I wanted to do in my life is revenge, to feel what my father felt whenever he abused me and to be able to be on the other end of that iron spatula. When I was 15 years old, I started raping peasants until it was banned by King Henry VIII. Given all I knew was baking, I opened a very unpopular shop. People complained about too much cyanide or too many glass shards in their pastries. But the bakery was popular among children, and chock full of sugar, they ran around, playing and being a nuisance. To stop the children from coming to my shop, I started luring them by using a muffin on a string, pulling them closer inch by inch, until I could get a hold of them and beating the life out of them using a wooden spoon. Parents began teaching their children a song about the Muffin Man, so they would not fall victim to the muffins I used as bait. To maintain my business, I needed to get rid of my competition. Chef Randall drowned in my brownie batter. Chef William was beaten until his face was no longer recognizable. Chef Carver experienced his mind-blowing matchlock. Chef George was flattened by my trusted rolling pin. Chef David was baked until he was golden brown. Chef Aaron was shaped and baked. Chef Adam was crushed into a mortar, which became one of the tastiest ingredients of my pastries. I was eventually caught by the police after the suspicion that the death of Chef Adam was my doing. I was arrested, but free to leave as no one could prove anything. On the way back, an angry mob got their hands on me and pummeled me. During dinner that evening, I stabbed myself with a fork, instead of a cockroach making me scream and choke on the dumpling in my mouth, which caused my death.